Welcome everyone to our next video, which is about agent training and how we can train agents when we are using CrewAI. I have been waiting for this video quite long. There has been a bug in the CrewAI library, so I was not able to make the video, but finally I got notification that they have fixed it, so we can check and we can also test if it's working. So here I have set it up very basic example. That's actually when you create a CrewAI project, that's the project which is by default being set. So basically in CrewAI we have our config file where we describe our agents, give them backstory and tasks. So why would we need to train an agent? So most of the time it's depending on how you have written your story. Let's say I want to produce an output, comprehensive report, and I want it in specific format. Let's say I have written that please add table at the end, and I don't want it add a column X or Y, so I can train that LLM. But for sure we can also adjust our prompt. So most of the cases it's not necessarily that you need to train your agent. You can always, it's always depend how your prompting is done, how your backstory is done, but there might be some cases you still want to train your agents. So we're gonna have a look on that and that how we can train. As documented by CrewAI, we should at least use a model that is 7B. So I am using here an AI 4O model. So let's get started. So in the agents, it's just by default senior data researcher that's gonna research on topic, analyst gonna analyze that one, task is to conduct a research, and reporting task to create a report. So this task is a little bit fuzzy because I'm not clearly saying it how the report should look like, so that we can create a video and I can show you how we can adjust and manipulate our output. If we look on our main file, we will find here we have a run method where we normally run kick off our CrewAI, and there's also train. In the train, you have similar inputs that's which we are using in our agents and tasks. So here, for example, popular LLM, the year currently we are taking, and then just be training it. So the command for that is CrewAI train. Number of iteration. In real scenario, you won't gonna do one iteration, recommend some few iterations, you can validate your output, but for our testing purpose, one iteration is enough. The file name, I'm gonna call it epsom llm.pkl. So this name must end with .pkl, otherwise it will throw an error. So that's pretty it. Let me run it. Yeah, so we have already generated output. Now I need to give it a feedback. I would say please always add reference URL if present. So somewhere from it got the information. So currently we see there is no any URL attached from where it got the information. So we can just ask to keep it. I mean, we could also say, I don't know, please don't add this model in your response. So it can be anything. Now we need to wait a little. So the first task is completed and now it's generating a report. So we see in our second agent, which got the context from the first one. So we see that we will tell it to keep the reference URL, but now the second task is more like generating a report. The first one was conducting a research. And as we see, we don't have any URL in second part as well, and we want to keep it. So I also see it adding conclusion. So we could just say, please never add conclusion section and keep the reference URL at the bottom if present. Enter. So it have already generated a report that we can ignore it because it just generated during the training. So this was our training, and it have generated training data here .pkl, and it keep the name that we have provided. Let's try to run and see how it gonna now generate the result. If we see our normal run, it's still the same question, the current year and popular LLMs, and let's see how does it generate. CrewAI run. So now we are running, kicking off the crew. Okay, it's first step is done. I don't see any reference URL. So the issue, I think, is still present, that this file, which we initially called it llm.pkl, this we should call it train mine_agents_data.pkl. This issue is still there. I don't know why they didn't fix it, but let's try again, clear it out and run it. The second file we don't need to change to training_data. So let's see now if it's at our URL, reference URL. Okay, the first step is already done and I see that it kept the URL. Yeah, so now it's working. Let's check the report. As we see, it keeping now the URL, the reference URL. It does not included any conclusion section. Let's test it with totally different input. Okay, so I have given here totally different topic, popular touristic city, and rerun the crew without the training. Let's see what the new report is now. So this report still contains the reference URL, and let's see the conclusion section, and there is no conclusion section, and we have at the end the references with the URL. So it's not like one-to-one training that the trained input must be the same for the normal run flow. So here it can be any input, and it will consider how our LLM is trained, and according to that it will produce an output. So that was all. Thank you very much, and catch you next time. Bye bye.